is the holiday season, so that means the season of calories and parties and events and a million reasons to have excuses to not stick to your plan. So I thought I would give you some tips on what we do to stick to plan during this crazy holiday season. My number one tip for this time of year and how to get through it is to stick to your plan. I cannot stress that enough. I think lots of times we give ourselves some permission to kind of slack off because we have shopping and we have events and it's just a really busy month. But I think having that plan and having something to ground you through this busy time is really, really important. And I think it'll help also not make the holiday season so stressful. I find going to the gym and having a plan, it brings the stress down of December. And December is very stressful for us. We have both the kids' birthdays. I have my birthday, we have Christmas, New Year's. It's a really, really busy month. So having a plan is really key to also keep the stress low. The first tip that I have for going to events is coming prepared, just like everything in bodybuilding. Make sure you come with your meal, don't come with no food or don't come hungry. Today, as unexciting as it is, I'm bringing my tuna with me. I'm also bringing some rice chips. I plan to have this meal in particular because I think the rice chips are nice for snacking. It kind of feels like you're partaking in the event. I also personally allow veggies to be a free food for me at events. I don't go overboard, especially with the dips, but I totally allow myself to have carrots and celery. It's not going to be the end of the world. If you're in prep, obviously you have to be a lot more strict. I'm in building right now, so I allow myself to have a few veggies off the veggie tray. My next tip is something I have been doing since the beginning of my bodybuilding journey. And since I have kids, I'm at a lot of different events with moms and there's always snacks, and I like to continue going to birthdays and events. And just because I'm a bodybuilder, I don't like to just stay home. So something I have found that has kind of kept me on track, I do it every single time, is bringing a latte with me. I find working in the macros for an extra coffee that day, it allows me to keep on track because I'm sitting there with a nice warm drink. I can sip it for 2 hours. It allows you to kind of feel like you're participating in the event. Kind of keeps you busy also from nibbling and snacking. So that's definitely my go-to thing that I do every single event. Today I'm making some brie and cranberry bites. Unfortunately, I can't macro any of those into my diet today just because my calories are a bit lower right now. However, when your calories are a bit higher, like Shane for example, you can also macro your dish that you're bringing, and then you know when you get there you can have a couple serving. Another tip is also ask your friends what they're making. Your friends will not mind at all if you ask. They're just happy that you're coming. So you can call ahead, you can see what they're making, see if there's anything that you can work into your calories. So that way when you get there, you know, okay, I can have a sandwich that your friend is making, you can have a portion of what you're making. It just takes some planning, just like anything in bodybuilding. You just have to plan ahead. And our final tip, it's funny because Shane just was saying it to me and it's the most obvious one. It's the harshest one, but it's reality, which is...
All right, if you're out somewhere and there's a bunch of food, just don't eat it. I mean, no one's forcing you to eat it. Unfortunately and fortunately in this sport, or to get to your goals, whether you're a bodybuilder or not, discipline is key. Discipline, consistency, packing your meals is part of it. And, you know, somebody offers you a burger on the street. Are you gonna say yes? No. So it's no different at a party.
I'll say yes.
It's no different at a party. You just say no.
As easy as it is, of course, to just say don't do it, it really does come down to that. You just need to remind yourself of your goals. And I promise you, the more that you'll do it, it'll actually become a lot easier. The first few times that I went to some mom dates for coffee and I had my Tupperware, I felt kind of stupid. But after a few times, people stopped offering me things or they would try to accommodate my diet. And now it's just a known fact. Nicole's gonna show up with her Tupperware at a party, doesn't matter. Nobody cares. As much as we think it's embarrassing or you don't wanna show up with your own food, it's totally fine. You can have a little conversation with the host ahead of time and just tell them you're sticking to your goals. And honestly, if your friends don't support you, you might need to assess what friend group you're hanging out with, because I promise you, good friends are gonna support you. I have a big party I'm going to today, and all of those friends, they all support me and it doesn't feel uncomfortable. So it just takes a little bit of planning, Just do it a few times, find something that works for you. Like for myself, like I mentioned, the coffee, that is my number one tip, honestly. So just to wrap up the tips for the holiday season, I have make yourself a hot drink to have for the duration of the party. Come prepared with your meals, don't come starving. Third one, ask the hosts, what they're making, get a little bit of information ahead of time so you can perhaps work it into your macros. Fourth tip, allow yourself the freedom to have a few veggies if you're in a build or a phase where it's not so critical. One last thing I also wanted to add is I think it's really important to remember that yes, food is a really important part about events, but it doesn't make the event. Just because you're bodybuilding, it doesn't mean you need to isolate yourself and not participate in any more social events. Just because you have goals doesn't mean you have to become a hermit. Getting out there, remembering that the event is about socializing with your friends, it's about the experience. It doesn't have to necessarily be just about the food. The food is exciting, yes, and some of the holidays we do get to partake in, Christmas and Thanksgiving, but those day-to-day get-togethers and coffee dates, they're also really important too. And reminding yourself that going there and socializing and not just focusing on the food aspect of it is really important because you don't want to miss those things in life. They're super important. So sometimes we just need a reminder, myself included, that not to fixate on the food. It's also the social aspect, and you can go and enjoy an event without eating. Well, I hope that helps a little bit with the parties. I would love to hear in the comments if you have any go-to methods that you use to manage parties. And just remember, you can definitely stick to your goals throughout the holiday season. And come January, you will be so happy that you stuck to it. Thanks so much for watching, and happy holidays.